Hi everyone, welcome to my living room. So there are a couple of people who have requested a video in which I am browsing through the book and actually explaining some of the images while looking at the book. I haven't really made a selection yet. I'm just going to browse through it, and if something comes to mind, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. So as you know, there is a second printing of the book coming because the first edition, the first printing was sold out. All 1,000 copies were sold out after 2-3 weeks, which was amazing. Thank you for that. And now there's a second printing, but I would really like to talk about my first baby, the first printing of portraits, as you can see over here. It took about 2-3 years also to decide the general layout of the book, what it was going to look like, the format, the dimensions of the book, the amount of pages, the cover, because we spent a couple of months going over a couple of options when it comes to the cover, and we ended up with this beautiful luxury linen, black linen, and we decided to just go black on black. As you can see, I don't know if you see it very well, but if you hold it correctly in the light, then the title actually reveals itself. Because the cover is completely linen and the title Portraits is just very shiny, so it really stands out if you hold it against the light appropriately, of course. So once we had that, of course, we could really put all the images in there. And if we have a look at the book, as you know, the preface, the foreword actually was written by Elisa from Arch Enemy. Thank you, Elisa. And yeah, just going through the book, it is just so beautiful. Got my logo over there, and the first person who's actually in the book was, let's see if these gloves can help me a little bit over here. Yeah, it was Marco from Nightwish, and I remember doing this shoot with him at the Aryan concert in the Netherlands where he was performing, and Marco and I, we know each other. We've worked together a couple of times with Nightwish, of course. And I really knew what kind of image I wanted for him, so I just added this white color to his outfit that he was wearing on stage and added the right light to have this painterly effect, this very dramatic effect. And just the look on his face was just everything. It was, I think, a 10-minute shoot, and I decided just to put it in the very front of the book because it is, of course, so good. Then it's just the paper that is so thick, wow. And then Miles Kennedy, of course, sweetheart, always very, very polite, always very welcoming. And then Ghost, of course, Ghost, Cornucopia, Tobias. We've known each other for many years now. We shot this picture at a festival in the Netherlands, Dynamo Metal Fest, where Ghost was headlining. And I think I had about 20-30 minutes with him and with one nameless ghoul, one nameless ghoulette. And this was just, we just built a set there, and it all came together so beautifully. We just added one chair an old chair from our old living room that I had brought to the festival, and everything came together. Tobias, thank you very much for being part of this, because you look amazing in these pictures. And Lindsay from Cradle of Filth, she has this very serene look in her face, like she's mourning a bit, and then with the right light, the color, it all came together. The photo shoot with Jen Majura was actually a funny story that I haven't told anyone yet. We had decided to do the photo shoot on a day off of the Evanescence Synthesis tour in Brussels, because they were playing in Brussels the day after the photo shoot, and the day of the photo shoot was a day off. It was a Saturday, I think. It was a day off for them, and we had the city of Brussels had given us the consent to shoot the pictures in their big wedding hall, because it's one of the oldest, one of the most majestic halls in the whole country. And they were very welcoming. They just had us come over, and it was very funny because her hotel, the hotel that Evanescence and everyone was staying at, was right across the street. So it was very easy to have her makeup, hair done in her hotel room, and then just bring her over just across the street in the beautiful City Hall of Brussels, where we had this big throne over there. Some people were thinking, did you build this set? No, it was actually already there. What made it so easy, of course. We were very fortunate to shoot over there, of course. Yeah, I mean, everyone was so nice then. It was really a really cool day. Then we have a couple of pages with Agnete from Jerv. Agnete was one of the few people in the book who I had never met before doing this actual photo shoot, and we have become lifetime friends because she was so not only expressive, so cooperative, she was just so sweet. She was just so authentic, and just the way I love people. She was so easy to work with, and she was so appreciative, so open to me, and yeah, this is one of the most spectacular photo shoots, mainly because of the person I had in front of me. Such a sweet, awesome person. If you don't know her or her band, check her out because she will blow your mind. I mean, these pictures, the outfit was completely designed by my boyfriend, Simon, who got her measurements, and he did such a beautiful job creating the shirt, the blouse, the jacket, the vest, everything matched so well. And this is a pillar that we also have in our living room, so it's always a bit of what can we use that we already own, and if we can do it, we will definitely do it. And for this kind of photo shoot, it was just perfect. So there you go, Agnete, just love her. Then we have Nergal from Behemoth. Yeah, that was the last time we could use this big white rough color. Why? Because of his suggestion to add some blood, some drama to the scene. So he just put some fake blood in his mouth, and at my count he opened his mouth and it all just drooled over the rough color. I still have the rough color with the fake blood over here, so it might be cool to one day add this picture in a collection in an exhibition with the actual result of the rough color next to it. Why not? Let's see. Chris, Motionless in White, great guy, love him. As soon as I saw the picture, I remember shooting these pictures in a tiny venue here in Belgium, right in the venue, right in front of the stage where the bands were sound checking. We're doing the sound check, and I had briefed him about everything, and he was so into it. He really wanted to do this, and just everything came together. The way he looked, his makeup, his piercings, then adding the rough color, his stage outfit, his rings, the look on his face, it was just so good that I just had to put 2 images in there. I just couldn't choose. Nobody could. My graphic designer couldn't choose. Simon, my boyfriend who had designed the rough color, he has been in this process as well, so, and he couldn't choose. Chris couldn't choose, I couldn't choose, so we ended up adding both pictures. Then my good friend Alex Agnew from Belgium, we shot this image right where I'm sitting. We just moved everything aside in my living room. We just set up a backdrop, and it was a 15-minute shoot, I think 20-minute shoot, and he was here for 2 hours because yeah, he's such a great guy, a really cool guy to talk with. Very, very, very cool. Tommy from Camelot, awesome photo shoot, also at the Aryan show. And then of course Tom from Slayer. I told the story, he always smiles in pictures, but this picture he couldn't, and he really did such a cool job. Mina, my good friend Mina from Life of Agony, yeah, it was after a show at a very hot day at a festival, and she really did an amazing job. She pulled it off, she was into character, she was just amazing. And then we have one of the biggest shoots I think for the book was the photo shoot we did with Simone from Epica, and it was a very big team, and at first I live in Ghent, and I really wanted to shoot these pictures in one of the big cathedrals. We have so many beautiful churches and cathedrals here in the city of Ghent, and there was one particular cathedral that I was very interested in, which is actually which dates back to the Elizabethan era, so which would have been perfect for this kind of photo shoot. So I reached out to the people at the church, at the cathedral, and I had to talk to a lot of people for this. I had to show them what exactly I was going to do, because we were going to make one part of the cathedral kind of private, so which is kind of difficult to do, but anyway, we got our permission, and we were able to build lots of sets there. We had this beautiful dress designed by Simon, my boyfriend, I'm so fortunate to have him, because not only I love him, but just to make all these beautiful garments, these beautiful designs. He's so incredible, and he's very easy to talk to. If I have an idea, I can just share it with him, and there will be no drama, there will be no discussion, there will be no arguments. He just knows what he has to do, and he knows what I want, and he did an amazing job. The rough color she's wearing here, Simone, is we only used for a couple of pictures because it was so heavy. that was designed by Elena Wedner, who also lives in Ghent. We just couldn't do this. Simon tried it so many times. We had someone else try it and someone else, and they just failed in creating this big rough collar that needed so much support from the back. But fortunately, Elena, she knew what she had to do, and she did it in, I think, 2 weeks. It was right before the photo shoot in the evening that Simone did her last fitting for the dress and the collar added to it, and it all came together. I almost cried. When I saw that. Of course, yeah, it was just it was a full day spent in a cathedral. It was one of Simone's dreams to be dressed up as a queen, as Queen Elizabeth then. So I'm happy I was able to do this for her. This is one of the key images from the entire portraits project. We had this big church. I just added one backdrop, and it proved to be the best image of the project. So yeah, sure, why not? Also, it's still in the cathedral. I have to tell you something about this. This throne that Simone is sitting on was designed by Jelle from Unleashed Visuals, who I've worked with so many times, and it just looked phenomenal. I had only seen it, well, I think 1 week before the actual photo shoot, when it was almost done, and it was so majestic, so movie-like even, but still looked really cool. I was like, let's put this in the middle of the cathedral with this beautiful, these windows behind it, like just giving a hint of that, just to show how grand it all was. Because that, if you need one word for this photo shoot, it would have to be grand. I mean, seriously. Look at this throne. It was just taking a picture when you have Simone, you have this dress, you have this setting. It makes the job a lot easier. Of course, you still need that vision. And you need to see what you want, but if you have this, there's anything that can hardly go wrong, right? Lisette, also at the Arian show, she just had a very specific look in her, and the way she looked, that I really thought it was really interesting. And she was able to pull this off for this picture as well, and that made this picture so strong for the book. Lisette, thank you. Attila from Powerwolf just shot right before stage time at the Ancienne Belgique of the venue in Brussels. We had about 5 minutes, I think. He just did an amazing job. And if you have a close look at the picture, by the way, in the very back, you can actually see a part of an old painting that we printed and put behind Attila, just to give a little idea, to make it a little more religious-like, maybe a little more painterly, because he looks kind of dead in the picture. No offense. And of course, Mirkur, I just love her. She is so sweet, a bit shy maybe, but that's one of her qualities, because she is so talented. She just knew how to pose. She has a background in posing, in being a model, being an actress, so she just knew how to do this. The way she was holding her hands, holding her fingers, it's, yeah, very good. Again, Ghost, the Nameless Goulette, yeah, it was really cool to shoot this picture. Lordy, I remember, we shot this picture right before he had to go on stage as well. The intro was already running while we took this specific picture. It was pretty funny. Then we have Danny from Cradle of Filth, also 2 images, again, couldn't choose. Johannes from Avatar, shot backstage. People sometimes ask me, Tim, why did you just, because it's always picture, 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 which is good, but why did you decide to add like 3 pictures of Johannes? Well, you can see it shows the evolution in his face. He goes from very neutral face to angry to pretty crazy all the way, but I just love this. I just love the idea, and I really wanted this as well, to have a certain break in the book, because else it would be a bit too much maybe, and a good book needs a certain break at a certain point. And I have a couple of these breaks, of these pauses in the book. I'll show you later. Then Abath from Immortal, he was so funny actually to shoot. Pertu from Apocalyptica, great guy. Just met him at the photo shoot as well, really cool. Oh, and then one of the other bigger shoots for the book, Elisa from Arch Enemy. This was really nice to do. We had a super cool location, also in Ghent, where I live. This very Renaissance, Baroque styled house, hotel, a huge mansion in the city center. The dress, I have to tell you something about the dress. If you have a look at the dress, I mean, if you look at the detail of the dress, there were many hours of work that went into making this dress. It was designed by Maya Lamouche from Cadavre Exquis. She's based in Bruges, so pretty close to where I live. And I knew she was able, that she was able to do both things, the modern, like latex outfits, but also these very classical outfits, like these robes à la française, as Alisa is wearing here. So I just gave her a couple of sketches and pictures of the inspiration that I liked, and I remember that Simon and I were looking for some fabrics in Brussels, and all of a sudden we found this blue fabric, because of course Alisa is vegan, so we needed to go for a synthetic silk, and we found this specific synthetic silk, and Simon and I looked at each other and we immediately decided that we had to go for this. It was just too good not to use. We just dropped it off at Maya's place, and she needed a couple of months to finish everything, because if you just look at all the details, the little pleats, the additions to the dress, like the lace that you see on the dress, also in the sleeves and the big skirts, it's unbelievable. What she did is really, we were so impressed when we saw the dress. Like, all credits go to Maya, because she is quite talented. If you need a beautiful dress, she is the person you need to go to. Yeah, here as well. We were actually not allowed to go and sit on this old furniture, because it's all authentic furniture from the 18th century, I guess. But we were able to do it because and you don't know, you can't see it fortunately, but Alisa is sitting on a big piece of plastic over here as well, just to make sure this fabric, the fabric of her dress, of her big dress, was not touching the old fabric, of the dusty fabric of the furniture. And yeah, that was cool to do. Really cool, actually. Oh, I have to tell you something, by the way. In some pictures you will see these big flowers. They were not photoshopped in. Some people think they were photoshopped in. Here's another break in the book with these flowers. They were actually designed by a guy from Brussels, a florist from Brussels. His name is Thierry Boutemy. And I remember that he did all the big flower works, all the big bouquets for the movie Marie Antoinette with Kirsten Dunst. And I looked him up, and to my surprise, he was based in Brussels, like half an hour from where I live here in Ghent. And I just threw an email, and I gave him a certain budget. I asked him, what can you do? And the day before the shoot, he dropped this off. What was funny is the day of the shoot, some of the flowers had already started dying a bit, but I had asked Thierry to include that, because I think a flower is at its most beautiful when it's starting to die. Because you can see the decay of the flower and the way it has lived, the colors start to fade just a little bit, but you can still see the richness in the color. And yeah, the flowers have a certain tristesse to them, some sadness, and adds to the drama, I guess. A little close up, yeah, Alisa, good friend, she's just amazing. Marcella, love her, good friend as well, very talented, also shot at the Arian show. Floor from Nightwish, of course. I remember giving her the book the day before we shot the new Nightwish pictures in the Natural History Museum in London, and she was just blown away by it. When she saw her image, she was very happy with it. Very happy with it. And Carrie Slayer, of course. Cool guy. Hope to see him again soon. We'll see. Then Björn from In Flames. Really, really cool guy. Love him as well. Thomas from Nightwish, such an inspiration on so many levels. And Fernando from Moonspell, also a very cool guy. Christopher from Hailstorm, very funny portrait. Everyone who visited the exhibition, when they saw the portrait, they thought it was such a funny portrait, and that was not really the intention, but there was no other way to portray him than like this, and it was perfect for the book. It was perfect. The guys in Steel Panther was so funny. Was just they're so cool, they're so appreciative, they're so, yeah, they've always been very supportive to whatever I do. So it was really cool to have them in there as well. And I was like, let's make this a little more fun. Like, we have Christopher from Hailstorm in a funny way, why not add some other more funny pictures instead of the same style? Yeah, Michael Starr is like an old Caravaggio painting. which I hadn't intended for actually, but I just realized it afterwards after seeing the picture that it looked so similar to a Caravaggio painting. So I was very happy with this. Lexi also wearing a coat that Simon designed. Yeah, really cool. Cobra, love her so much. Doro, my metal mama, love her. Elisa, my good friend, one of the first pictures we shot for the book. Yeah, still the same color as Nergal was wearing, without the blood then. And then one of the other bigger shoots was Charlotte, shot in the same place as where we shot Elisa, because the place had just so many different rooms that we could either use for her or Elisa. So I just decided to pick certain rooms for Charlotte and other rooms for Elisa to shoot there. This image was actually inspired by a picture that Annie Leibovitz shot for the Marie Antoinette series. I just loved the way she looked in that picture. I was like, I would like to try to go for something pretty static, but still, if you have a look at her face, still very open and very friendly and very welcoming, like an old painting would be. The big ballroom where we also shot Elisa, but you would hardly even recognize that it's the same place. A little close up here, she looks so cool in here. The light, the way she looks, the way she's holding her head, the way you can see her side shade, a little modern touch, I just love that. Because it's important that every character, every person in the book is still themselves. They have to show who they are. So no hiding of tattoos, hairstyle. If there is something specific about you, show it in the picture. Why not? Again, a fold out, one of the most beautiful pictures for the book, I think. Then here you can see this grandness of this room, of this bed, with some leaves in the foreground, some flowers and a glass in the foreground. And Charlotte is looking away like you don't know what happened. Maybe she's taken by surprise. Maybe she's sad. Maybe she is thinking about something. She's contemplating her life. I don't know. It has so many. Could have so many different meanings. Oh, by the way, we got this dress from the Belgian Opera House. They were so cooperative, and we could use everything they had when it came to their old wardrobe. And we had 3 dresses that we could potentially use for Charlotte. I first wanted to go for a black dress, but when she put on the white dress, completely changed my mind on the day. So sometimes you have to be flexible, I guess. Anneke was also a really cool shoot to do. Dress designed by Ingeborg. She did a really good job. Yeah, it was really cool to see. It was one of the first bigger shoots. After Tarja, she was the next one, I think. And yeah, it was also cool to shoot her in a big cathedral, big church in Antwerp. I just love Anneke. She's always smiling, a bit like me. Then we have Michael Lukkerveld from Opeth. Awesome shoot to do. We did this at Fortarok in the Netherlands in a tiny tent. My studio was a tent of 4 by 4 meters, I think. So that was very challenging, but still, as a photographer, you sometimes have to work in small places and very challenging places, and then you have some big cathedrals you can work in. It's always different. That's actually something I really like. Then my good friend Niklas from In Flames, he was immediately up to join this project. And then we had the first big photo shoot for the book was Tarja. Tarja, one of my best friends in this business. She was immediately open to the idea. We decided to combine her from Spirits and Ghosts photo shoot with my photo shoot. We shot this in Marbella in southern Spain, where she lives, and we had a photo studio designed there actually. So the background was designed just for the shoot. All the antiquities that we added were things we found there, and the dress was designed by Sharon Bouquet from Ostend, a young designer. And yeah, I had a very good idea of what I wanted, and the results are just mind-blowing. When I saw the results on my computer, like instantly, I was so happy with what I saw. It was everything came, like this headpiece is, I think the headpiece must be one of the things that really draws your attention to the picture and which makes it so authentic. It was designed by my boyfriend Simon. Yeah, it's inspired by Anne Boleyn. The paintings from Anne Boleyn. yeah, it's still so cool to see Tarja's fingernails in there. Her nails were done for the photo shoot the next day, but I was like, no, it's okay, because I still want it to be you. So if it's just this detail that is still you, why not? Let's keep it like that. I remember Sharon was sewing on this piece, by the way, this middle cross. She was still sewing it onto the outfit the day before the actual shoot, because it had just arrived 1 hour before we left for the airport. But we needed it. It was a crucial part for the photo shoot. I could have photoshopped it in, but I try not to Photoshop things like that too much. Yeah, really cool. Tarja, doesn't she look like a queen? She does, right? Christina, my good friend from Lacuna Coil. Love her so much. My Italian beauty. Max from Soulfly. Yeah, he was one of the last pictures that we shot for the book. I really wanted this Rembrandtish picture in there of him with his leather jacket, with his studs. He just looks so authentic. Like he was made for this era or something. Colin, one of my all-time favorite pictures from the book, must be this guy, Colin from the Belgian metal band Amon Ra. It's not even a metal band, Amon Ra. I think it's so much more than just that, and that really shows in the picture. We had this table just designed for this picture. We shot it at a festival. We had quite a big audience for this photo shoot, but hey, it doesn't show in the picture because Colin really knows what he's doing. He knows how to look in a picture. If he has to go all nude for a picture, he will do it just for the sake of the art, and those are the people I love. People who would do anything just for the sake of art. Anything for the sake of art. Amen. Yeah, so cool. And it's a real skull, by the way. It's a really old, authentic skull. Then we have my good friend Arjen from Arjen Lucassen right before going on stage. So cool to have him here. And then one of the final bigger shoots that we did was Sharon den Adel from Within Temptation. Just very last minute. I remember at Grasspop, after her show, I was sitting next to her and we were going over a couple of ideas when it came to outfit and style of the image. And this was one of the outfits that I showed her. Well, it was a similar outfit, and the black one as well. Those were the ones that I showed her. I was like, would you like something like this? So she was like, oh yeah, that would be so cool. So I asked Simon, hey Simon, you have 2-3 weeks to make 2 outfits. Will you be able to pull it off? He agreed. So he worked day and night making these outfits, finding the right fabrics, finding the right details, finding the right earrings, the jewelry, finding a studio to shoot everything in close to where she lives. And like the earrings are just, yeah, we found them online and they were perfect for this photo shoot. I based myself upon the old Renaissance, the Italian Renaissance, the Italian Baroque a bit, which has these very romantic pictures of ladies, and I think that was perfect for Sharon. Yeah, because it still shows who she is, and she looks incredible in these pictures. She really does. Over here, she looks like an angel over here. I think I'm not sure. No, angel would be the wrong word. She looks almost in ecstasy, like experiencing an out of body experience or something like that. Holding the crown again from our own interior, just so good. And then as a final picture, the Nameless Ghoul. So yeah, this book was. Now it was actually your first glimpse inside the book if you don't have it yet. Here you can see everyone with all the pictures again with all the different credits, everyone who worked on the book realizing these specific images, everyone's in here, and every artist who is in the book also got a copy of the book. And yeah, it was 3 years of my life, but it was a really fun process, and I cannot repeat it enough. If you're passionate about something, make sacrifices, go for it. Do what you love to do. Don't do what you think you have to do. If you love something, you will be much more successful in it. If you have any more questions about the book, let me know. And just so you know, the second printing is still available. There are still some copies left, and you can order it at my web store. If you have any questions, let me know. See ya.